at all the people. Hi,
Hello, everybody. Everyone is shined up and looking. Hey, my chin isn't cut off, is it? I've got a bad
No,
thing with this. Okay, good.
you're okay.
Okay, so it's so wonderful to have you all here. You all know Nancy Peterson. I will introduce her again. She's a multi-award winning, fabulous, sparkly, shiny, top of the line narrator. She's dead professional. I mean, she's amongst the most professional of us, but in a really funny, weird, eccentric way, which is what we should all be striving for, because seriously, we all know those professionals that are really serious and boring and awfully beige. Nancy is the opposite. So, Nancy, how are you? I notice you're dressed up this evening.
Yes, I was thinking we're going to celebrate the Audies.
Yes.
I was from last night, and it was fun. I was not dressed up for the Audies, though I did see a lot of you there. You know, we got to throw pictures in there, so that was really fun. I was in one of those pictures dressed up too, but I wasn't dressed up to watch the Audies. But so I thought I'd put on a little sparkle since we're talking about sparkle today. Plus, in the booth today, I'm doing a Manhattan socialite. So,
Very
you know,
cool.
I have, okay, guess who I'm channeling for that? How many of you have seen It's a Mad, 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 Mad World? I think that's 4 Mads. Okay, I am channeling the mother.
It's very familiar. Who's in it?
Oh, okay, that is your assignment. Go watch that show. It is so funny, a classic. It has Buddy Hackett. I mean, you know, the
Oh, is it the one where they try to go around the
Big W? The Big W.
Yeah,
with,
yeah. That's my husband's
and the
favorite
nose
movie.
guy.
Yeah,
Jimmy
yeah.
Randy. Okay, yes. So I'm channeling the mother who, it's Ethel Merman, I think. Am I right, people? Is it Ethel Merman who's the mother? She's hysterical. Okay, go watch it.
Okay.
It's funny. She hits people with her purse. She's hilarious. So I'm channeling her for this role because it needs to be a very opinionated, strong kind of socialite woman from Manhattan. So
It sounds like a really fun book you're doing.
You know what? It was one that I wasn't sure I would enjoy. I'm loving it. It is so much fun right now.
What genre?
This one is actually a time travel romance.
Oh, I hate you. I'm so jealous. I love,
Yeah.
you know me, I've got a thing for time travel. Oh my God.
This one's fun. This one's really fun. I am having a lot of fun with the characters. The author, I don't have permission to speak about it, so I won't, but
yes,
it's just so much fun, and I'm just totally enjoying the ride with this one. So it's been really, really fun.
Isn't that the best? I think it was Emily posted somewhere today that, you know, she's just doing a book that's so delicious that she always wanted. And I noticed, I didn't have time, but I noticed someone else's comment. That's the like icing on the cake in this job, isn't it? When you get that book that you just like, you would kill to read it anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And plus, I spoke with the editor on this one, and he made a comment. He says, I can always tell when someone enjoys a book because they have fewer mistakes. And which I thought was really interesting, because somehow you are so connected to it that, you know, you get into this flow. And so it's really fun. So do you guys mind if I ditch the faux fur hair? I have my honeybee t-shirt on today.
We were saying before the call started, and we didn't want to waste it. We don't like to talk before the actual call in case we waste any good genius tidbits, you know, that you guys might want. But the thing about like the whole being a narrator, I think it suits us well that, you know, you can wear the faux fur over the Harley Davidson t-shirt. I don't know if that's Harley Davidson. You know what I mean? The boots and the cigar and the martini at the same time, all while narrating.
Yes.
And most of you are like managing families and parents and herding kids off to school and yeah, I love that. I love that.
Why not?
So
right?
What you said brought something up for me, which I find is really interesting. See what you said about that editor thing and the mistakes. because I did a post today and it's right in the front of my mind because of
I read that.
the vaccine thing. I won't go into the whole thing because I already put it on there. But I think I needed a physical reminder of how much the mental chatter takes. Like, how much are we living? Like, because when you love the book, you're completely there in the moment. And Johnny Heller always says, go back to the moment. And Paul Rubin always says, go back to the moment. But like, how much are we living these alternative lives in our heads? Like, I think it was 75% of the time.
Hmm. No, I
Like,
think that's
do you
probably
find that
true.
you swerve? Or are you quite good at being mindful and going back to what you're doing?
Um, I'll say this year has been a challenge. Um,
Because you have kids too, don't you?
yes,
Yeah.
we've had a crazy year. We've had a crazy year physically, mentally, emotionally. We're still having many crazy things happen, so it was pretty crazy. But I don't know. I feel like that mindfulness thing is something I can do. And I'm not sure if it was just how I was raised or um I mean, seriously, I'll tell you some really interesting observations I made as a child. I was the youngest of 8 children, and yeah, large family. And my dad, when we would travel, I remember sitting in the car and he would do work while we were traveling, if we went on a family vacation. I remember sitting in the car once and I made a decision. I don't remember, I had to have been pretty little because the car was full. And I remember thinking, okay, he said he's going to be a minute. No, he's not going to be a minute. He's going to be a lot longer than that. And this is going to be a long wait. And I remember sitting there thinking, I had this urge to go, to get upset and go, oh, he's taking too long. But then I thought, I don't think that's going to change anything. So I just remember sitting in the car as a child saying, oh, well, I guess this is just how it is in the moment. So I'm just going to be okay with it. So
You're good. You're good. And
I know that sounds weird, but
no, it doesn't, because I remember as a child around that age, realizing that classes took a half hour and I hated school because it was so boring, but I loved TV. So I would memorize the TV show from the night before and I would replay it in my mind because I thought a TV show is about a half hour, including commercials. So I would try to replay the TV show in the class so each class wouldn't be so boring. So you taught yourself at a young age to sink into the moment, accept, and not be attached. I taught myself to completely deny reality and distract yourself with whatever the hell you can get your hands on.
I am over here laughing because I did something similar. Okay, well, I know we're going off on a tangent, but I wouldn't actually replay it, but I'd say, okay, one Gilligan's Island. I can do this for one Gilligan's Island, or one Gilligan's Island and one Brady Bunch. Okay.
I love that though, because we were the TV generation, weren't we?
Oh yeah.
I love that.
3 o'clock every day, Brady Bunch and Gilligan's Island.
I thought Lucille Ball was my mother. I really did. I was pretty sure she was a relative. I still get a little confused and have like memories of like Aunt Lucy or something. But I think, but now we're storytellers, it serves you well.
Yeah.
And plus, if you had 8 brothers and sisters, did any of them end up being in the arts?
No. Well, not
Really?
true. The sister just older than me, she is a ballet dance. She's a ballerina, but not anymore. But she's also, we're all very, like my oldest brother's a dentist. My sister's a nurse. I mean, I'm a dental hygienist. So is my other sister. Very, we went in the medical field, very practical, because when I was in high school, I'm like, okay, what do I want to do that if I want to be a mom, I could be a mom, but I could also work. And that's kind of, the practicality. I actually was a vocal music major at the University of Utah. And I started out in that vein. And I had that thought, I'm like, what am I going to be able to do with this?
What
And
were you when you were 10? When you were 10
When I was,
years old, what did you think you were
oh,
going to be when you grew up?
when I was 10, I thought I was going to be a paratrooper. That,
Wow.
or I would own horses and be a rancher. That was what I was going to be when I was 10.
Did that come from books that you read?
Yes. The Black Stallion. I love that book, that series. So my friends and I were obsessed with it. I had lists, and I'm not kidding you, probably 200 names of horses that I wrote in a notebook. And me and my friend would, you guys, you're going to die. When we were in 6th grade, we would sit out in front of the elementary school and we'd whistle, and our horses would come galloping up, and we'd jump on them and gallop all the way home. I
In
mean, we would do
sixth,
this little
wait,
gallop all the way home.
in
6th grade.
sixth grade?
Yes.
Oh no, Nancy.
Yes, I know. I
Did
know.
that get, that probably didn't
I'm
get you a lot
revealing
of
too much about
social
myself.
kudos.
No, I was a weird kid, and that's okay. I'm totally at peace with that. So, yeah,
And
we had very vivid imaginations.
do you not find that this whole quarantine, kind of like the world going crazy, has brought out, because I know the little kid I was, then I'm not listening to all of you. You're horrible human beings. I went out and told the people smoking in front of the school that my mother said they'd better quit smoking or they're going to die of cancer. You know, me and
Oh,
my skirt because girls don't wear pants, because I read all the 1950s books. But do you not find that the kid you are is coming out in the quarantine? Like, if you loved people, you love them more now and want to be around them. If you didn't, not so much.
I think that is a really good observation. And because I've discovered that I'm okay with being alone.
Yeah.
As weird as that sounds, I know everyone's like, you know, I can't wait to hug everyone, and I can't. I love that, but at the same time, I'm pretty okay being alone.
Yeah, and I'm just in case you guys, the huggers, that's great. You don't need to hug me. We can keep up with the Zooms. I'm good. I'm horrified. Do you not have a picture of everyone being let out of the gates and grabbing each other?
Well, you know, I have to say it was really funny because we did that. I joined for a little while last night. Something that Stephen J. Cohen had put together.
I
It was
tried to
his
join
first-
that and then I fell
oh,
asleep.
oh, it was really cool because it
Was
was
it?
like a Zoom meeting, but you could move around in the room and you could go talk to people, and so you couldn't hear other conversations going on. So you could have a private, almost a private conversation in one corner of the room. It was just really cool. Anyway, someone made the funniest comment. They said, gee, I'm as awkward in this situation as I am in real life. They're like, I don't know what to do with myself, because you could like wander around, you know, in this virtual
Oh, I
world.
wish I'd been on
So
that now. I love a good
I think
party.
they
I
should do it
do.
again. It was so fun because some people, myself included, had the ability to turn our screen into our avatar so they could actually see me, like a Zoom meeting, but you could wander around.
Maybe I'll ask Stephen if he wants to do if he could help and we could do a Cup of Joe one. We've got 450 something members,
Yeah,
and we could like
it's really
hang
cool.
out one night. Maybe we could have like a barbecue in the summer and a Cup of Joe virtual barbecue.
I think that would be hilarious.
Wouldn't that
It's
be
fun
fun?
because it does. You see people and their name is like floating above their head, right? And so you can go and say, hey, good to see you, you know, and for some people, you know, it was really fun to see their actual faces. Stephen couldn't, he was a fox. I mean, you get
Oh,
assigned an avatar, you can pick one, but
I
you
found
he was
one
a
that looked really
cartoon fox.
cute. I found one I was going to use. I conked out. I was too tired.
We'll
Um,
do it again.
yes, yes, I think that's a plan. So I think I noticed I don't know, maybe it was just me, Nancy, but did you notice a really frenetic energy in the last few months? Like, do you not get I get the feeling that people honestly believed, we were like little kids. We thought January 1st, it would all be okay. And then January 1st came and it all wasn't quite okay. And I would get messages from people going, oh my God, so-and-so got sick, or bad things kept happening. And I think everyone was in like a kind of a collective PTSD. And now it's all this creativity is coming out. People are starting businesses, they're doing this, they're doing that, maybe in an effort to get back to, in a way, it's a good thing in a way. The industry's changed. I mean,
Mhm.
maybe the actors are going to, what do you think about the state of the industry and the new people? Because I've had people say, Cup of Joe, you're bringing new people in. The influx of new people is, I don't bring new people in. If a person's new, the way I feel is if they work on their talent, then fair dues. If they're going to, because I remember we were new enough when we started that group, right? And look at us now. We hung on and we worked, and anyone that's willing to do that. So I'm not afraid of like somebody that loves it as much as me. To me, they're not an outsider,
Oh,
but
no.
people
Well,
are
and just
feeling
to tag on
threatened.
to that, one thing that I think is always just really important to remind ourselves, there is no one who sounds like you exactly,
Yes.
and or who reads like you. There are people who are in the same group that maybe, you do similar things, but there really is no one that sounds just like you.
Right.
And so in a way, there's your biggest competition is your own self. So
And the
um
people that are recording bad quality and they're just doing it because somebody else posted, oh, there's an agent in LA that's telling all the actors, do an audiobook, just do one audiobook. It'll get you on Google. It'll keep you busy. It'll keep you relevant.
hmm.
And I just think anything that's not good quality isn't going to last long anyway. You're not going to get by 5, 10 years, which is what it's going to take if you're just like running something up quickly.
Right. No, that's true.
You
It
know,
doesn't it doesn't
unless you want
quite
to do
work that
10
way.
years worth of 20-minute keto books. Nothing against keto, but you know the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So is the 10-year-old girl that wanted to do all those exotic, wild things, is it fulfilling doing them through the books you read? Is that why you do the kind of like adventure, historical fiction and all that?
Well, that's not why I do that. Um, that's just kind of that found me, I think is the best way to say.
Hmm.
But I would say, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, Having the opportunity to be other people is so much fun. And I don't know. I'm a firm believer in continuing to like get coaching and just keep working on your craft, because I feel like that is just, I think it keeps you fresh, and it keeps you, always curious. And maybe that's really the key, is curiosity, you know?
But what about the difference between you? Because there's something different about you. And I keep trying to put my finger on it. And you know what it is? You're more you. And I've just been working on my branding and I came up with like, a website or something. I was like, oh, that feels like me. You're more you than you were even the last time I talked to you on the Joe call, which wasn't that long ago. It had to have been within a year. Have you made a mindset shift or has something happened? Because you just seem more,
More me.
yeah, more there's like a vibrancy, a comfort, maybe relaxed. I don't know what it is, but there's something
Huh.
about you that's different.
The only thing that comes to mind would be that, you know, this really has been a hard year for
Yeah,
me. And I have three children at home, and all three have struggled in various ways. And I feel like sometimes, here's what it is. I think this is what it is. I don't really worry anymore about if I am socially acceptable.
that's massive. We
Yeah,
all know, we all write that one in, but to
yeah,
really achieve it is something.
yeah. And I think that just, I mean, that comes also with age as well. I think that's probably true. But I'm realizing that I don't know if we even recognize this, but I think there's a little bit of performance perhaps in when you go when you're around your neighbors, or when you're involved in in-person things. And a lot of that has been stripped away this year for me personally.
Yep.
And we've had to face we've been very open about some of the difficulties our family has been facing and the difficulties that our children have been facing. And I know we've talked about those in the past. I don't know that we need to do that again, but it's one of those things where it's like, you know what, I am just good. Just, I don't have anyone else I really need to please. I am fine, you know, going to the store in my lounge pants. I'm, you know, I don't know.
Because it shows. And also, I used to think that, I used to think it was giving up. Like, oh, I don't ever want to get to the point where I would just go to the store in my, you know, pajamas or something, because that's like giving up, right? But it's the opposite. It's that I'm not quite there yet, but almost I can wear extra makeup. I can put the faux fur on, because for me, for the fun of it.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's not necessarily letting yourself go. What was it? Somebody posted, it was, God, my whole life must be social media, because every sentence starts with, somebody posted this recently. But that comedian that did a show about New York on Netflix, which is amazing, she said that, oh no, it's an off-color joke, and we're recording this. Now that I realize it, probably I shouldn't say it out loud. Saved myself editing right there.
Right there.
But it was something about being a 65-year-old woman, and I don't know if she's 65, but it was something about being a 65-year-old woman, and somebody and she'd said, it's the one thing you don't want to be in this world because of the way society used to be. And I think that coronavirus broke that. I think coronavirus broke the social structures, and I'm glad they needed to be broken.
Well, and here's kind of as an extension and evidence of that is a lot of the women in my neighborhood are completely gray. They weren't before. They've just like, we're going gray. We're not going to do this anymore. And I'm like, good for you. That's awesome. You know, or in evidence and other things, like, you know, I'm showing up at the Audie's things last night. I didn't have a spot of makeup on, and so that's why I'm doing it today. I put makeup on for you all. I just want you to know how important.
And you do know that we're kind of chuffed that you like dressed up more for us than for the Audis.
Yes.
And also chasing the good feeling, because it can get low, and it can get it online. Things can get kind of magnified and everything, and I find sometimes, well, okay, I won't say I'm acting like characters out of the books I do, because they're all killing each other. But out of some of the romances, do you not find us acting like, you know, people online, somebody says one little thing and then like 20 people come out, oh, how dare they say that? That's not real, right? Yeah. You know, online isn't real. Real life isn't real. Your time travel's pretty real. Our books are real.
Hey, I'm telling you, yeah.
So what's your next step? What's the next thing that you'd like to achieve? Not maybe even career-wise, mindset-wise, happiness-wise, mellowness-wise.
We were talking a little minute ago about Marie Kondo.
Oh yes. Okay, let's get to this bit. I made Nancy stop talking because it was too good. Again, don't want you guys to miss out on anything. So yes, let's talk everything Marie.
Yes. Okay, so this was one of those I'd heard of. I've seen her show, and I'm like, oh, that's so lovely. I love the idea, you know, where she kind of kneels down in the house and she says this little kind of grateful prayer. She acknowledges the house. So I listened to the audiobook and I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. I want to try it. And oh, by the way, just so you all know, huge audiobook fan. You knew this from last time though. I have listened to audiobooks my whole life. Love them. Okay, yeah. So I'm listening to hers and I'm like, And now I'm like asking my car, oh, you don't, I seriously am like, my car doesn't like to be messy. So I'm going to make sure it's very clean. It likes to be very clean. Or I talk to my socks when I have Okay, little tip. I'm going on a little jaunt. Side tip, compression socks changed my life.
Why?
Crazy Compression is the best place to get compression socks. Oh, well, okay, I
Wait.
had a little surgery this fall,
Okay.
and they gave me compression socks that I had to wear. And it was an outpatient surgery. I was out the same day. Still had to wear the socks for like 4 days. I get in the booth trying, I'm like testing it out. Am I able to stand? And I'm like, this is a game changer. Compression socks changed my life. I'm not kidding.
But how,
So
but I don't understand what they do.
they're socks that are really tight. They're like knee high. Okay, you want to see? Sorry.
They're the ones you put on in the hospital, right?
Yes, I can't. Oh, it's not showing my leg.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to get my leg up there.
But how do they benefit you in narration?
They make you feel light. I stand up when I narrate. And
Yeah, I do
and
too.
part of it is because I can't, I'm so uncomfortable when I sit. I have lower
Yeah,
back.
me too.
Standing is-
I have one of those things the chefs use, the mat that I stand on.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have shoes that are like that I wear. Anyway,
Okay.
so compression socks, they come in different grades. I use a very light grade, but it's like wearing they're just tight. They're stretchy like spandex. You put them on, they're tight. And I'm like, it just completely changed the way I was my longevity in the booth, honestly. It's my feet get less tired. It just holds everything in. I don't know. They're just magic. So
I should, because I've been
try
wearing
it.
my cowboy boots because I never get to wear them. I've never gotten to wear them ever outside anywhere because since I always wanted cowboy boots, so I wear them in the booth. But maybe compression socks would be better.
With them, wear them both. I mean, compression socks are just. I have very cute compression socks. Okay, so going back to Marie Kondo.
Okay, yes.
So I have these compression socks, and some of them have like mermaid scales, and I had some ones that had really beautiful snowflakes. I mean, they're just cute, right?
Okay.
So crazycompression.com. Sorry, dog. Okay, crazycompression.com. That's where I get my socks. They're so much fun.
Okay.
Anyway, so I wash my socks and I hang them to dry, and I'm like, then when they're dry, I take them down. I'm like, oh, you guys you did such a good job. You're amazing. And then I do the little roll thingy, to make them look like the little sushi roll or whatever. And I'm like, now you can rest for a little while, go in your drawer. And you should see my drawers there's just hardly anything in them. I really cleaned out because I realized I did have a lot of stuff that sorry. I did have a lot of stuff in there that I was like, I don't love it. I don't love it. Why I had a skirt from like 1985 and it was a wool skirt, the first skirt I bought, and I was hanging on to it because it meant something to me, but
Yeah.
I took it out and I thought, I don't have to get rid of it. I ended up giving it away. And the reason is I thought it served its purpose. It is a beautiful wool skirt. I'm never going to wear it again. I still have the memory. I don't need it in my closet. I'm going to let it go to someone who actually needs a nice wool skirt. Okay, it's pleated, it's 80s, but they can have it and someone will enjoy it. It's just gathering dust in my closet.
I confess, I like the home edit people because they just tell you to get lots of canisters so you can keep the stuff that you want, but put it away in nice canister.
You could do that. So anyway, I did got rid of the skirt, and I don't feel bad. I mean, I don't miss it. I don't feel like that memory's gone or something's, like I'm sad. I am not sad. I am like, let that skirt serve its purpose.
Because you have to get rid of the person you were to make space for the person you're becoming.
I think that helps because now I go into my closet and it does feel different, and I treat my surroundings with more respect. And that's really, I think, what it comes down to. It's like, you know what? This is what it is for me. It's a change in gratitude. I am like grateful. I have this idea that I am surrounded by things that make me feel good, and I'm grateful for them, and so I just really appreciated that it was a shift for me in going, how do again, not articulating well, just this idea that I want to have gratitude in my life and be grateful for everything and not have anxiety. Some of those things hold anxiety, you know, that skirting away was holding anxiety
Yeah, I
for me.
believe that.
And,
Do you know,
and so,
with books, I started recently and it made a big, big difference. I would, it's a little embarrassing, but when I get a book, no matter what the book is, I've got a little ritual, you know, welcoming the book, get to know the book, and have my little cappuccino, open the book, you know. But then afterwards, I have a little trophy wall, and each book gets this little cover printed out and shellacked and framed and put on my little trophy stand, like my own thank you to it, my own sending it off, because I had to find a way to value every book I did. Because when you don't, when you get those books that are difficult and it's just job and you're in a deadline, I think they can hear that in your voice.
yeah,
I think it
I
comes
agree.
across. And the writer loved it. You would hope the writer loved it, and they did love it, even the ones that maybe aren't our style. So it's
Yeah,
what you said. And I kiss the walls of the flat sometimes at night because I'm so excited I own my own home.
I love that.
I love your car. Does your car have a name?
It doesn't, maybe I should name it.
You should name your car.
I named my first car, but
And you always
I have
remember
not
it,
named a
huh?
car since. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every car
So,
deserves a name.
yeah,
But
I'm going to think on that.
it's valuing. It's
Yes.
like valuing your body. They always say that about losing weight. And I know this. I don't do it, and I'm probably not going to do it because I'm a total diet mentality nutcase. But you're supposed to value your body. Thank your body. Thank, you know, your legs that allow you to stand recording for 8 hours a day. You know what I mean? Thanking all those parts of your body, then your body will be healthier and pay you back. You know, I think what you show love and value to gives it back, doesn't it?
Yes. And I don't know how that works. I mean, it sounds kind of strange, but I think it does. It's that whole, you know, the kind of energy you carry
Yeah.
yourself with, or, you know, anyway, I think, yeah, it does come back to you. Definitely.
It's energy. I told you I was woo-woo today. Totally. So you're telling us the other thing, you're the Audie winning book. Tell us about it so far.
Oh, okay. So last night when I heard the award-winning book, okay, I'm gonna have to look it up again. I never remember the name. It's just a tricky
Yeah.
name. Piranesi is the name that won last night. I thought, okay, I'm gonna just get that. So I got it and I started listening, and at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, I gotta go to bed. I gotta record tomorrow. Anyway, it's a really interesting book. Really, I mean, the writing is like, it's not, I don't think it is for everyone, honestly, because for the first little while I was like, what is going on? Like, am I missing something? This is a crazy book. And I didn't understand it. And here I am now 3 hours into it. I'm like, I have got to go figure out what's going on with this. And my husband's like, well, what is it about? And I'm like, I don't know if I can answer that question. It's like someone is telling you their crazy dream they had last night. But now I'm starting to see how it's kind of fitting together. And so I'm really looking forward to the conclusion of it. But man, good writing, narrator, woo, first book ever. That's crazy. It's
Were
really,
they an actor or something?
he must be. I
Yeah.
mean, he, the mic loves him. And it's not just the mic, his style is, I mean, it just sucked me right in. I love, he was a perfect, if you watched last night, the publisher did the announcement or did the speech for him because he wasn't able to be there. But something about, they knew they had to find just the right voice for this. Boy, did they ever find the right voice.
Wow.
It's good. I mean, you can say what you want about, you know, someone brand new coming in and they shouldn't get an award or whatever. I just went, I'm loving it. I think it is very good.
See, I don't say
So
that about anything. I think have the talent, work, throw yourself out there, and anytime you succeed, that's good for all of us. Anyone
yeah,
that succeeds, that shows it can be done.
Yeah.
So he's got it on his first book. That means it can be done
Yeah,
if
it
you
can be
work
done.
hard enough and have the talent. And we all
Yeah.
hope we have the talent. So all
Yeah.
that's left is the work.
The
I
work.
think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. So
it
that was
shows us it
really,
works. The system works. We can all
well,
do it.
it's true. And to me, it was like the power of that combination of something that um, just clicks with you. And I think that goes back to the whole, for me, historical fiction. I'm just really, that's the thing that I think for me is just, it just suits my style of narrating the best.
Yeah.
I am taking some classes right now, and I have been pushing myself to do a little bit, like I did a YA piece that, I got a little beat up over, but no, I wouldn't say beat up. I got some really good constructive advice. Let me say, but it didn't
Great.
come as naturally to me. And so I'm going to do it again. It's
Yeah.
the Dion class, but I'm really enjoying that because I feel like, you know what, even if I never do a YA piece ever in my life, I've done a couple, but I feel like all of these tools are so helpful it just makes the characters, the real people that we become when we do this, it makes them more real and more deep.
Yeah.
They have more depth to them than they otherwise would. So
And you were talking, I remember our last call, I can't remember what it was, but you had an epiphany and you brought it into the booth and it was like well, I can't remember the specifics, but those
okay,
moments are gold, aren't they?
they
Those
are.
moments because you're training we're chasing you're chasing another aha moment.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I think I do remember what it was.
What was it? I can't remember
Was it where
specifically.
it was where it was where I had told the story of when I first started narrating audiobooks, and I listened to one of my favorite books and realized when I listened to it critically, the narrator didn't change her voice very much.
That was it.
And that is still true. In fact, that was on an APA webcast with Julia Whalen and Eduardo Ballerini. They mentioned the same thing. They said, you need to trust our listeners because it allows them to fill in the blanks. And in some ways, I think that makes the story for the listener much more rich because it's theirs. It's going to, it's not handed to them as necessarily like a play. And sometimes that's fun to do. I'm not saying that's a bad choice, but sometimes it's really cool to just allow, you don't have to, you don't have to do everything for the listener.
Yeah, the character comes from
Yeah.
inside rather
Yeah.
than it's that thing I hate where people are like I'm listening to I won't say who, obviously. I'm listening to a book right now and it is nonfiction, which I don't normally listen to, but I really want to digest this book. The narrator works really hard to make sure they're very conscious and working really hard to make sure their voice is good.
Mm-hmm.
And I want them to just get out of the room
Mm-hmm.
so I can listen to the book. But it's distracting and I can't put my finger on what it is, but it's their self-consciousness. They're working on their technique and their voice. And I just want to hear the story. So that's what you're saying. It's the voice and in fiction, it's the kiss of death if you're trying to create different voices and you forget to act.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
you do a thing, don't you? I remember you saying this because the thing I have with the conversation with my characters, don't you do a thing? On the last call, it was a genius, like writing it in your journal to each other.
Yes.
What was
Yes.
that?
That was what it was. It was right as if you were the character.
Yeah,
So
like the night before you do the book, you do it?
yeah, you can, I don't do that every time, but especially with with characters you're not connecting with.
And you were an actor. Am I right that you were an actor before you were a narrator?
Yeah.
For a long time. Do you ever go back
I've
and do
always
acting?
done plays when I was younger, and then I did, community theater plays, and then I got into some film stuff. And so, yeah, I've done
Do you
a little.
still do any of it?
Oh, I did an audition for a Hallmark the other day. I don't think I got it. I haven't heard back.
I'd love to be on a Hallmark.
I've done one. So you can, if you want to, the Summer Prince. I was the mom in the Summer Prince
I'm so going to look it up.
5 years ago.
I do have a weakness for the Hallmark
Yeah.
Channel. I always wanted to be the quirky best friend in real life.
No, they're really fun. I mean, yeah, they're fun. You know, they're just usually a day player, maybe a week player. You know, you get a week's worth of work out of it, or a few days, but you know, they
So,
always bring in their talent. So
so that's you right now. So you're Marie Kondoing, you're
yes,
narrating,
yes,
you're continuing your training.
yes.
If you could fix something in the industry, the way people are thinking, if you could tell people something, I'm supposed to do the YouTube thing at the end too. I'm not letting you off the hook on that one, but trying to get as many words of wisdom as I can.
Okay.
What do you think? How do you think things are going to be now when we go back? And what do you think? Because you're an actress first. I mean, I've heard you narrate. You're an actress even when you're narrating. I don't think that's ever, I mean, you're a born actress, basically. And you're an award winner and most likely going to keep being onwards and upwards. Are you going to show up on the red carpet next time you win an award? Are you going to go, can you not wait to go out and...
You know, it's interesting. I'm a bit of a wallflower when it comes to those. I do go, but I'm a little awkward at the awards things. So if I see someone I know, I'm like, oh, come talk to me, you know. But
I don't know. I've seen pictures of you. You don't look awkward. You're in like gowns hugging hundreds of people every single picture.
well, I don't know. I do. I always feel a little awkward, but it's fun. I mean, because here's what I truly believe about our community as
Right.
narrators. I think, and this applies, I think, across the board. Maybe there's a few exceptions, but when I have gone and I have extended, I have to, I mean, for me, that's taking a risk. It's a little risky. It's a little scary. But if every time I have, and I've stepped forward and said, you know, hi, I know you, you know, from Facebook or whatever, almost every time it's reciprocated with nothing but warmth and kindness and, oh yeah, and they know you. And I think that's just wonderful about, I mean, even people who like, I mean, I don't want to name anyone because I don't want to put anyone on the spot, but people, you know, I just think people are so generous and gracious in our group of narrators. And I think that's just a key. Just be willing to take that little risk. I mean, you even kind of posted that something similar, you know what, just do it. It's
Yeah.
scary.
And be
Just do it.
welcoming to the new people too, even if they joined during COVID or something, because we share a love for the art and the craft. And the ones that don't aren't going to last. They're not, because that's not what it's about. It's not something you can make a quick buck. The minute they figure it out, they're gone. The ones that are staying here and learning, you know, be kind.
Well, and I think that the narrators who have been around, you know, for longer have done a really good job of being welcoming.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I think for the most part, you know, there is a very welcoming atmosphere when you do go, even though for me, because, you know, I've always felt like sort of this oddball from the middle of nowhere, and I'm showing up at these galas, you know.
It's so weird, Nancy, that like, isn't it strange? Are you not shocked by the difference between how you see yourself and how everyone else sees you?
I don't know how everyone else sees me.
It's pretty much the opposite of what you're saying.
Oh, that's
You're
funny.
you're the person that's friendly, everyone knows, everyone gets along with. You go to all the, you look like you've got it sussed. You won awards early. You're an excellent actress. You always look confident and calm, and a kind word for everyone. You look like you've got it all figured out. I mean, everyone knows no one's perfect, but you look like you're pretty much as close as you can get. I mean, unless you want to go to Bali and do a yoga headstand, you pretty much got it. But
well,
you're sitting
I
here
think
saying,
be willing to take a risk. And I think
yeah,
our community is a safe place to
Yeah.
step out of your comfort zone. I'm seeing Tim Jackson here. I'm just going to point. I'm sorry, Tim. Is that okay if I?
He did put a comment about, sorry, he was distracting and I missed it. What did he do?
I don't know. I just happened to see his picture, but I'm going to bring him up because first time, now he doesn't live far from me. He's in my state. And so we get together we have a little group in our state that we Zoom. First time I met Tim in person was, I think at Characters. Tim, is that, if that's right, in New York, I think, or did we go to lunch before? No, we went
Tim,
to lunch.
unmute yourself. It'll be much easier.
Okay. Sorry. So Tim,
No.
that's right. We had lunches before that. So I'm speaking out of turn on that. But
Yeah,
when we went to the Naughties,
yeah.
Tim, I found Tim.
Okay.
I'm like, Tim. So I find Tim and I'm like, hey, Tim.
And I'm freaking out because, oh my goodness, this is an Audie winner. And I'm like, oh my God, how do you know? I mean, we had met and I'm like, you're talking to me.
I told you,
that's so
Nancy,
funny.
that's how everyone thinks of you.
Well, I think that's hilarious. So I see a face. I'm like, Tim, okay, come on, Tim. I'm like, this way. Do you want to meet Dion Graham? I think I asked him, I'm like, I can introduce you to Dion Graham. Do you want to meet him? I'm having this total fangirl moment. So I'm like, come on, I'll introduce you to Dion Graham. Because of course I want to talk to Dion Graham, right? And so I take Tim over there. Is that what we did? Is that who we were like stalking? I don't remember, Tim. Anyway.
I was new enough that I didn't know anybody. I mean, I knew you and I knew that it was like, and you're like, you want to meet insert name? And I'm like,
I think it was Dion Graham. And serious. And honestly, I know Dion Graham is such a safe person to approach. He is one of the kindest people. I wasn't going to mention names, but he's one of them. He's so generous. And he's, you know, he came up to me and a few people out in the hall because it was noisy and loud. And we were having an intense conversation, me and a couple of other ladies. And he said, you know, there is no one exactly like you. You are enough. That's all he said. And then he walked in to go celebrate.
But that's all you need, right? That's
yawn. Yes.
Yeah.
But isn't that, I mean, I remember coming back from my first it was my first APA convention, and I was gushing, honestly. I wrote a note on Facebook, probably in either audiobook crowd or professional audiobook narrators. I don't remember where. You could probably go look it up because it's still there. But I'm like, I love that I can be here and right next to me is an A-list narrator who's won all these awards and they'll talk to me. And I just was like, it was the most lovely experience. That's what, honestly, that's what I miss about being in person. Because I really think, like I said, I don't know of any community where you have, you know, people who've been doing it for a long time or who are incredibly talented and multiple award winners, and yet they'll come over and have lunch with you, you know, or they'll come sit with you and I'll say, can I get a picture? You know, yes, of course, you know.
But you get like, I remember Stephen J. Cohen was nice to me when I started. Sean, you know, I hired Sean as a coach, but I wasn't paying Stephen J. Cohen. He didn't have to go out of his way to help. Anna Parker Naples didn't. Andrea Ems. She was like just kind of, I didn't know she was just starting. I thought, wow, she's like amazing. You know what I mean? It's like, and I'm not stupid. My plan is, because a lot of these new people that are just on 1 or 2 books now, they've got serious potential. My plan is, in a couple of years, when they hit it big, at an astoundingly fast rate, guess who's their friend?
Good plan.
They have ulterior motives. But it's the valuing the people.
Yeah.
But that's why everyone loves you, because you're famous for that. And you always were in the group. You've always been the person to show up when somebody's having a meltdown. Not that I ever did, obviously, but when somebody would have a meltdown, you would be the first person there. And I know it's just online, but the right word in the right place online can change someone's life. They can make the difference between them quitting or still going on. And you've done that for people yourself. You've done that for me
Thank
many,
you.
many times.
That just warms my heart. Thank you.
Oh, totally true. Totally.
Appreciate that.
So I will show up in person when the whole coronavirus thing ends. I'll have to dress up like all the way then, waist down and everything, but I can still wear my cowboy boots.
I love it.
Yeah, and
It's
somebody
true.
said that they thought Andrea Ems was a really seasoned veteran. That's Andrea's superpower, though. Andrea's always seemed like a seasoned veteran, but I think it's because she was a singer before. She was a singer before she was a
Yeah,
narrator.
she definitely has that. Well, she made a huge, I mean, huge impact in my life. My life would be very different without that girl.
Because you guys were
Seriously,
buddies at
literally.
the first Audies, huh?
Well, here it was. I mean, first, okay, I do want to say one other thing that I think is important for narrators. This is not just chatty. There's a difference between an investment in yourself and in your business and an expense. And I think sometimes we think, oh, that's so expensive. But I think as we shift our mentality to, is this a good investment? That can change everything. I was never going to go to APAC. It was too expensive, and I just wrote it off till I started coaching with Sean, and he says, you should go. I mean, I just had this feeling I should go, honestly. We're going back to the kind of the woo-woo energy stuff. Just had a feeling I should go. I didn't know anybody, and I saw Andrea Ems said, I didn't know her. I mean, maybe I'd commented on something, who knows? But she said, I need a roommate, and I'm like, again, take a risk. Me. I'll be your roommate. Totally, just, oh, thank you. That's my husband, everyone. Oh, I couldn't see him.
No, we can't see him.
He brought me a package. Anyway, so anyway, that one decision to take that risk and go be a roommate with someone I didn't know, honestly, didn't know, that changed everything for me. She introduced me to Clayton Butcher, who gave me Catching the Wind, who was nominated the following year, and then we won the Audie. I mean, there is a definite, domino effect there. So I think sometimes things are scary. It can be really scary, especially when it comes to the money side of things. And I really do believe that our gut will tell us sometimes if it's the timing is right or it's not. That year, it was like, my gut was like, I do need to go. I just feel like I should go. And I know it's expensive. And I'm looking at my husband going, I'm crazy because airfare and, who knows. But I think that was a good risk. And so maybe when you're looking at your risks, is this going to be a good investment, or is this, I wouldn't discount those gut feelings.
It's what Nancy said, like, are you investing? And what is it you said your gut told you? You knew, right?
Yes. And it didn't make sense at the time to me.
Yeah.
And I just felt, but I did. I mean, I went to my husband, I said, you're not going to believe what I'm going to propose here, but I really think I should go to New York. I feel
what a
like
lovely husband.
I have an amazing husband.
Yeah, definitely.
He is a keeper. Yeah, he's an amazing person. So I'm very fortunate.
Are you doing online APAC this year?
Yes, I'm actually on a panel this year.
Yay!
So
what's a panel? Like
a panel is like, well, in person, it was where, you'd go to these meetings and there would be a panel and they'd ask the panel questions. This one is basically breaking into publishers from ACX. It's me, Joe Hempel, James Foster, and Emily Lawrence on the panel.
Wow.
So, I know, and I'm probably just going to sit there and go,
No, you aren't. You and Emily I would pay for that alone. not for the other guys. I just don't. I know you and Emily, and amazing. Wow.
Yeah, well, I'm bringing some things from other narrators that I think will be helpful. So Andrea M's being one, because she has a really interesting way of communicating with the different publishers, because they're all different. So I'll be sharing that there, what she does and what I've done. And I think everyone, you just kind of have to, it's going to be different for everybody. But, so I'll have a few little gems I hope will be beneficial to anyone who comes.
Well, how will we get to be on the panels? Does everyone get to attend any panel they want, do you think? Or
Yes, you can choose. So when you sign up for APAC, I'm going to have to go look. There's the business track, and there's I can't remember.
I need to check, because I know I signed up for business diagnostic and producers something or other, and they said fill out a form. Is that what you're doing?
Yes, you're choosing which panels you're going to go to.
Oh, I better check.
You can choose.
Okay.
You'll be able to choose which ones you go to.
How exciting. I do eventually have to go to a real APAC. I know that.
Yes, you do.
Yes,
What's so funny is I feel like I know you. We've never met in person, but yet at the same time, it's been so fun because, we had that conversation when I was working that one day, and we're like, just chatting. So I feel like I know you. I feel like when I see you, I'll be like, oh, hi, how are you?
Well, but I have a confession. You know that show Catfish? I was doing that since I was 15 years old, not catfishing, obviously, but I was talking to weird, strange guys on the phone my whole life when I was 15 years old. I had all my boyfriends. My name was Lisa. I was like madly in love with everyone. And so to me, I don't really get how like the people I know online aren't just my friends. So like, to me, nobody's a stranger. I know everyone. We're friends.
No, it's fun. And the last year, I mean, I don't want to name any names. I don't want to embarrass anybody, but it was so fun to see some people that I've known maybe through my whole journey. And that was their first Audies. I went to the Audies last year, and it was like, it's just so fun because it's like, you feel like you're instant friends. And
okay, so it's planned. We're all going to see you at the online APAC. We're all going to rock up at the real live one, whenever that is again. We're going to Marie Kondo our entire house and fold, and name your car and kiss the walls of your house and appreciate your books.
Yeah.
I think we've got Sparkle down pat, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, Sparkle.
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Now, you know what, there's something, I think in your next career, if you ever get bored or want to take on an extra, life coach. You'd be amazing.
I've done a little of that. I thought you knew.
Oh, that's right. I forget, because that's what that was.
Remember, you and I have had deep discussions about that.
Yes.
How, and the reason I left it. So.
Yeah, which I kind of disagree with, but because you've got this way that kind of, everything's fine now. We've had an hour with Nancy. We can pipe in slow music. Okay. You're not getting off the hook.
Okay.
For the YouTube audience that's going to be watching this in 40, 50 years, what is a last word of wisdom, something you'd like to leave them with?
Don't be afraid to say yes and take a risk.
Powerful and to the point. I like that. I do.
I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you for your time. And thank you for coming back, because people were bugging me. They were like, when's Nancy Peterson back?
Guys.
So, thank you for coming back. It was a pleasure as always. And after this call, I'm going to go make sure I'm on your panel at APAC.
Okay, sounds good. And it's so good to see your faces. I really am so happy to see y'all. And next time, seriously, at that time when we do get together, I want you to find me and we will hug. I will hug you. Just so you know. Unless you say don't hug me, and then I won't. You know what? I'm going to hug you. Yeah, I'm going to hug you. Sorry, you're not getting out of it. And I'm not typically a hugger. I just love my people. So
Yes, yes, lots of love. I'll drinks all around, everyone. Okay, take care, Nancy. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for joining. It's been fabulous as always. Have a good night, guys. Bye. Bye.